It's your boys. We're back at it again, recording
We
an episode of the
sure,
podcast.
we sure are, and what a better time to come
What a-
back after months of saying we were going to continue.
Well, best time to forcefully make our friends listen to it because they have nothing else better to do. And if they don't do it, we'll be hurt emotionally.
That's the thing. It's like before you had an excuse because you had school and work and,
Better
going
thing.
outside, but now you really have no excuse not to listen to us for 45 minutes to an hour.
Yeah, that's painfully accurate. Yeah, no, Raph and I spoke a bit, and we were like, "Hey, the world's going to shit right now."
It sure is. So let's give you something to listen to that's not the same figures and scary information that you hear every day because you already heard that. I mean, keep informed, but let's have a little space for positivity.
Yeah, keep some room for some bullshit that's enjoyable.
Absolutely, I think that's what you can call this bullshit that's enjoyable.
Bullshit in small doses. Man,
That's
feelings.
exactly it. Welcome to Man Feelings, guys.
Yeah.
We're switching it up a bit today in terms of the format because, I mean, in that the last 2 episodes we've done have been live, together. We've been in the same space. We've been able to interact. We've been recording video simultaneously. Today, this all changes.
Going straight audio, so I don't have to expose Raph to my body.
Oh my god, my
in
mucus
all of its glory.
stays with me. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I like being exposed to your body, but
Yeah, no, it's a different subject, but
exactly. Absence makes the heart grow fonder. Anyways, we're on Discord, and you guys will let us know what you think of the audio. Hopefully, it's tolerable enough.
Yeah, it should be pretty okay.
The delay is not too bad right now.
Yeah, we can also. Oh, we didn't do a clap sync.
I think it's gonna sync both tracks. Like they both started at the same time, right?
Probably. I mean, we're using a gentleman named Craig.
Craig. Thanks, Craig.
Thanks, Craig.
It's Craig's a 45-year-old man. His wife is a librarian. He worked for many years in the public school system, but he had to take an early retirement because he pulled his dam back out.
And he sits in silence in every Discord chat, just listening.
Just listening, because
take a note.
It's like, there used to be the History Channel where people could watch old war documentaries. That's basically what people of Craig's generation did. But now,
oh man,
now he just listens to 2 20-year-olds talk. I mean, one 21-year-old and one whatever your age is.
Whatever the fuck you are.
I really don't know much about David. I just saw him on the street and I was like, that one.
I keep it to a bare minimum with my friends.
That's exactly.
They know my face, and they know my nude body.
The more they know about you, the more they have against you.
In court.
You know people who live like that, like dudes who are just like, I don't want to open up because then bacteria, I don't.
Don't get in me. No, actually, I used to be like that for where I lived in high school. I didn't want, for group projects, I didn't want any fucking one coming to my house. I'm like, we're meeting in a public place. Stay away from my
I don't want people to know where I live now.
Yeah. It was hard enough for me to get there.
Yeah.
It gave me a treasure map, a compass.
No, absolutely. Now it's just figure it out. Based on my vocal mannerisms and the little landmarks I mentioned, where do you think I live?
And you're warmer.
You know what disturbs me though? When I do give people my address, they still somehow manage to fuck it up. Every party I've had, I give them the address, and they always go 2 doors down. I'm like, it's a precise number. I'm not giving you an estimate from this number to this number, and you have to guess somewhere in between and knock on every door. But no, really,
maybe they just want to get to know your neighbors, man.
Oh, exactly. I just had a weird interruption. My cat kind of came in, and I had to shoo it away. Anyway, no, it's okay. It's, he knows when it's time.
He's crack a whip at him, just
yeah. Go back in the closet. Anyway,
in your dungeon. Actually, speaking of, I don't know why this reminded me of this. You mentioned a Craig the old white man. I just pictured the kind of people who watch Cake Boss, Pawn Stars, and American Pickers, but all in the same sitting.
I'd rather not meet those people. Is that fair to say?
No, it is very fair. But I'm just saying, can you imagine the kind of person?
No.
No.
I could totally imagine. Chewing tobacco comes to mind.
Oh. Yeah, TV dinner.
Sorry, what kind
Like
of dinner?
frozen
Oh,
chick
frozen, yeah.
TV dinner,
Oh my
like
god, yeah.
frozen chicken tendies.
With the
I mean, any
desserts and
dinner in
the
front of the
vegetable,
TV is
like, somehow frozen together. Still,
oh, I
terrible.
feel like cubed up carrot with peas and sometimes corn if they're
Welcome
getting
to
spicy.
prison.
Okay, whoa. Oh, have you heard of this is actually not really this is more of a downer subject, but
Oh, shit.
I think it's a Nutri Brick or something like that. It's a punishment they give to inmates where if they like do something bad, quote unquote, they make it so they only a Nutri Loaf. That's what it's called, Nutri
Yeah,
Loaf.
I've heard of a loaf, yeah.
Yeah, and they give it as a punishment, and it's like the most disgusting brick of solid food they could eat.
As if being in the fucking institutionalized prison system isn't punishment enough.
You thought it was bad. Get ready for
No.
this.
It's like recreation time, more like getting stabbed in a courtyard.
Oh, it what fun! It reminds me of I've gone on like a bunch of cooking deep dive videos over the past couple days,
Mhm.
and I got into like it's like oh making prison food. In my head, I'm like I want to like know what it is just to get an idea, and I don't know what I expected because like we have hot water and ramen, and it's like cool. We gotta mash this shit together.
This is what it's like to be incarcerated.
Oh man, yeah,
That's
it's pretty
terrible.
bad.
Yeah. I
Actually,
mean, sorry, go ahead.
no, I was speaking of food. We are Raph and I's friends joked about making a pasta making live stream
Oh my god.
where we can just make some pasta, cook it up, show it to the world. But the more I think about it, the more we could actually make a cooking show.
Oh my god, yes.
Like,
I mean, I've been cooking like so many like I don't know, under these like closed, circumstances. I've cooked more good food than I have in so long.
you have to.
You have to, but it's like, I'd expect myself under this to be like making frozen pizzas and like chicken fingers and chicken
Mm.
fingers on top of frozen pizzas. But like recently, I'm seeing somebody new, and like we've been making such good food in our isolated state that it's like, I mean, last night I had like salad with like grilled mushrooms and fucking
Ooh.
grilled chicken and dried cranberries and this delicious vinaigrette. And it's like, normally it would be a frozen pizza. Doesn't matter if I was starting with a salad. We would end somehow with a frozen pizza.
It would somehow get to frozen pizza.
It
Already had a
would.
main dish?
And it's like, am I heating that frozen pizza? Sometimes
No.
we don't know. It's like it's strange.
We're spicing it up tonight. We're licking it. Oh man. No, I feel like a lot of the time when it comes to romancing, I often like when I like someone, I'm like, I want to feed you. Like, let me give you food. And then I like purposely try to cook food. And it usually comes out good. Like lava cake. Ugh,
Hmm.
go to.
No, I think feeding a person and taking care of them is such an integral part of the relationship experience. Hello?
Ah, okay, I'm back. Sorry.
Okay. I was just telling you how about, how like like feeding a person and taking care of them is an integral part of the relationship experience. And the second I mentioned that, you're like, "No, I can't hear it. Goodbye.
He's like, I can't take this.
I can't take this. All I want to do is walk in a park."
I, let me live. Sorry, my internet right now has been pretty garbage, mainly because we just got a new modem, and because
Oh.
everyone's at home now, everyone's
Yeah.
using the internet. So they're like, "Oh,
Isn't
you wanted?"
Videotron supposed to give everybody like unlimited for free during this time?
Here's the thing: I have Bell, so does not apply to me. It's pretty bad, but no,
Bell's
yeah,
like
like
Bell's like, "We invented the phone. What else do you want?"
fuck you. It's kind of a cocky move to name your company after the inventor of something,
That's so funny. I'd love
like
that.
Ford, like automotives.
I like Tesla. My God.
Yeah, no, like you have to.
Well, Ford
There's
was started by Ford.
Yeah,
A
that's
little bit
actually
different. That's a
that's
little
fair.
bit different right there. Ford, what did he invent? I don't know. The Ford car?
Ford?
Like, Jesus.
Yeah, he has the right. He has the right.
Have you seen or like heard much about Ford versus Ferrari?
No, I haven't, but you told me about it, and there's like Matt Damon in the movie.
Yeah, and Christian Bale. It's like
Oh,
it's almost like The Prestige in terms of like being a wits end battle, but it's like not. And it's like I'm people keep saying like really great things about this movie, but to me it really just looks like another like American kind of like industrial battle movie with like no stakes. Like, what are the stakes? They don't win the race and then they just go home. Like,
and they
what
continue being rich. What a pity.
Exactly. It's like I saw a clip where it's like Henry Ford Jr. starts crying in a car next to Matt Damon, showing him a test of like the Shelby Ford Cobra, whatever the bullshit car, and like he starts crying because he's like, my daddy would have been so proud. Like, oh, your daddy who like helped the Nazis and like hated Jewish people, that daddy.
Oh, what a man!
What a man! So anyway, I'm just like, I'm sure it's an entertaining ride, and nothing against the people involved, but like,
Nothing against Nazis. It's just not my thing.
I'm a big fan of stakes in movies, you know?
Yeah,
like high stakes.
Oh, that actually, because you say that, I had a conversation with my buddy, relating to Nazis, but this is more humorous. We were talking about NASA and like the whole race to the moon thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, like what would you like? Speaking of races, like the United States was like, we got to beat the commies.
Yeah,
let's hire Nazi scientists.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we got to get to this floating rock at all costs.
Oh, fully, and all the craziest ones too. That's why we had Nazi zombies. It's like, I want to do something fun.
Please. I'd say most scientists do stuff out of ego. As someone who's studying to be a scientist and has an ego.
Well, you want to grow Bernie Sanders out of mushrooms. That's all I understood from what you were doing.
I just need a friend. Just one old friend.
Okay, so I don't want to put a downer on this already down, but did Bernie lose the Democratic primary?
No, it's technically too early, but Joe Biden won Florida and won a couple other states, but we don't know yet.
I don't think we can really, to be honest, look at Florida as a area of rationale anymore. Have you seen those aerial photos?
Oh yeah, I have.
People are like, have you ever seen the movie Kingsman? Where at the end, there's a movie called Kingsman, and it's at the end, the evil villain's plan is basically to have everybody like in the world kill each other, to like save the environment or something. Looking back doesn't make a lot of sense.
So like eco-fascism.
Basically that he like programs like he gives out free SIM cards, free internet, free mobile, like to everybody in the world, and nobody bats an eye. And then surprise, these SIM cards like make people go insane and kill each other. And there's just a lovely clip at the end of that movie playing to like Casey and the Sunshine Band. Everybody do, and it's like a bunch of people on a beach fighting, and that's exactly what I thought of when I saw those aerial photos of idiots in Florida, like I don't know, spitting in each other's mouths and surfing.
It's like, have you seen the one skit, or not skit, but it's one of stand-up comedian John Mulaney's stand-up specials on Netflix. He describes Florida as just full of old people, Cubans, gay people, alligators. And then they all decide who's president by the end of the election.
Oh my God.
Like, it is... I've never gone to Florida, but I have one friend who has, and he met a man there. I say man, he was a kid. They were in high school. But I don't know if this is appropriate. Am I allowed to talk about fleshlights?
You can go ahead. We'll see if we have to take it out after.
Okay. It's not anything... like gross. Basically, he met a man who sold fleshlights for cheaper in his high school in Fort Lauderdale. Now, I don't know how...
That is the funniest shit I've ever heard. Because, like, there was always those kids who were, like, selling I remember, like, at my camp, there were people who sold brick arms, which were, like, Lego guns. Like, there was a third-party company that made better-looking guns for Lego figures, and there were kids who would go to the States on holiday, buy them, and then sell them at summer camp.
I'm kind of guilty of doing that because I brought Kinder eggs to my friends in the States.
Oh, but that's like you're.
But that's not a gun.
Man, no, you're sharing. I mean, the guns are like two fucking centimeters, but like shit hurts, man, when you step on it. But no, I mean, come on, the gun control debate would be over in a minute if it was like Legos on the floor and like one Republican senator like stepped on it and he's like, fuck it. No more.
No more. What if we just litter the entire Senate floor with Lego pieces and then go through an entire debate?
I would watch C-SPAN if that was the case. I would actually feel the need to get up out of my chair and change the channel to C-SPAN.
I feel like C-SPAN needs to like completely rebrand into like an esport, like not esports, but like a it should be like an esports network. Like
well,
they have announcers
the
and
stakes are
commentators.
just the same basically, but sometimes just as boring.
Mitch McConnell coming in for the pitch.
What's like you ever watch esports like announcers just trying to make what's happening sound interesting and not totally the same thing that happens every match?
Oh, you reminded me. I have not done stand-up, but one bit idea I wanted to talk about during my set was esports announcers. Because they say the weirdest fucking shit in game.
Oh, they do. And they're always like either British or from Denmark.
Yeah, there's no in between.
No, there's just a British guy and a guy from Denmark. That's it.
Broadly European.
Yeah.
And there's one line. I remember I used to play a lot of League of Legends because I hated myself. And at some point I watched like some stream and the announcer was like, he couldn't keep the baby alive.
Oh my god.
I'm like, that is, if you described babysitting like that, no one would fucking take the job. That is horrifying.
All you gotta do is keep that baby alive for 4 hours.
It's like a sequel to Taken.
Well, you know how the Fast and Furious like franchise, they're making a bunch of spin-offs now. I feel like, and isn't it from the book of Fast and Furious? Oh no, that's Saw.
There's a book?
No, now Saw's making a spin-off, and it's like from the book of the Saw friend. I'm like, what the fuck? So they now have to do one for like babysitting and Taken.
Huh.
And Liam Neeson has to show up at one point, but like really old in a cabin in the woods. They're like, I knew you'd find me. I'm retired.
I'm still like trying to imagine like a Fast and Furious book. Like, what fucking demographic is that for? Like, the people who watch Fast and Furious aren't like, oh, I want a written copy, please and thank you.
Oh, absolutely. And how could you find somebody with enough writing talent to describe the high stakes action of driving a car out of a plane and then having a parachute on top of that car, and then fucking Tyrone Biggs or somebody.
I don't know actors' names.
I really don't. I don't know. Ludacris is just there, always like cracking up because he can't stay in the scene. You getting upset?
Just Rick Ross.
What?
Right. Just naming people.
Remember when Rick Ross was like, "I eat pears now." Shout out to all the pears, and that just kind of changed my life.
They hit different.
It hit different because like up until then, most hip hop artists had been
eating apples.
It's that. It was pushing the apples. You know, you got your Macintoshes, you got your Empires, you got your Granny Smith. But then Rick Ross had the fucking balls to say, no, pears.
Oh, God.
I don't know. Fruit changes a person.
Two things. First thing, is Tom Clancy dead? Why does he have so many books? Second thing, what's his face? The guy who did a lot of auto-tune, and then I forgot the name of he's a hip hop artist or R&B artist
who did auto-tune.
Yeah, that's like
Hold
everyone.
On, let me. Oh, sorry. 38,000 results came back. Let's make this a little less vague.
Oh, let's filter it. African American man. Oh man, this is really bothering me. He did a video of Kenny Beats. I gotta look this up.
Oh my god, that keyboard.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
Where was it? T-Pain.
Yeah.
T-Pain.
Well, T-Pain has a great voice, by the way.
Oh, he does.
He uses auto-tune, as many others do, as an artistic tool, which sometimes, like, yeah, that's valid. Sometimes it's just to mask an absolute lack of singing ability, but he can sing really beautifully. He did, like, an acoustic version of a bunch of his songs.
Oh, the Tiny Desk concert.
Yeah. I love Tiny Desk concerts.
Everyone stop listening. Go listen to every Tiny Desk concert and come back in 30 years.
Start with Anderson .Paak. I have fallen in love with Anderson .Paak recently.
So good. What
a talented guy. Like the drumming and the singing at the same time. Like Phil Collins like could do that, but he sounded like he was doing that. You know, you could tell he's getting out of breath. It's like, I can feel it coming in the air. You know, he's like about to have a stroke. But like Anderson .Paak, his voice sounds like so smooth.
It's regurgitating butter.
Yes, Lord. It's like, oh, what an artist. What a talented artist. I'm in awe. I admire him. He's a very, very, very talented guy.
A, yes. B, I remembered why I brought up T-Pain. He streams video games now. Like he fully live streams on Twitch. And I found that to be like the most interesting because I've never seen someone from like one facet completely switch over. It's like who's that one basketball player that went from that's like tried to do baseball or golf?
Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan. It's like a success story of Michael Jordan's attempt. Like he went from music, he's like, I'm gonna keep doing that, but also video games.
To be honest, though, that like the Michael Jordan to baseball thing didn't work out, but I would have loved to see him try to have an R&B career. That would have been gorgeous, just to hear Michael Jordan, like the I'm not too big on basketball, so people might hate me for saying this, but like arguably the best basketball player of all time, the most iconic at least, and that's a constant debate. But like, start singing and beautifully, I would love to see that.
It's like have you seen Being John Malkovich?
Yes.
It's like someone took control of T-Pain and is now streaming.
No, but you know what? I don't see that as far-fetched because T-Pain was never like a self-serious rapper. Like he did the Lonely Island song and that's his biggest song. So like
oh man, Lonely Island. Actually, I would like to see T-Pain do more comedic stuff.
Yeah, he's got a great sense of humor.
He's a funny dude. Like if anyone watches his stream, like he's fucking hilarious. Like
no, I'm sure.
Man. Now I'm thinking about Lonely Island. That was
they
an
were
era.
so great.
I remember because like I'm a young person, a child, as some would say.
Yeah.
And I remember listening to Lonely Island on my sister's iPod and not understanding any of the lyrics, but I'm like, this shit slaps. And fully like having a child like repeat the lyrics "jizz in my pants" at like max volume in a shopping mall.
Yeah, and not understand any of the ramifications of such an act.
It's the most embarrassing thing for like a young teen.
Absolutely.
I feel so bad for my sister.
You know what? I have conflicting theories about if the song Like a Boss reinforced or like commented against toxic masculinity. I'm very confused because on the one hand, he's saying all these like terrible like at one point he's like, harassing an office worker, then he shits on her desk like in protest. Then he, becomes a jet and dies. But like, is it maybe a meta commentary on the fact that some dudes are just fucking terrible and they do these kind of things and they think they're bosses?
I wanted us to appreciate you being like, well, in protest, like any sensible human being would do, he shat on his desk.
No, it's the worst thing. It's the worst, most awful thing. Has intercourse with a fish in the sewer.
Like that's the plot to TMNT.
That's exactly it.
I revisited, speaking of sewers, I revisited the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Oh, okay. I thought you said I went back to the sewer for my hometown.
I went back to my homeland.
Found a giant clown down there.
It was me all along.
I'm a clown.
I am a clown. No, I revisited the movie, and it is, oh man, it's an experience. If you ever want to watch a film with your friends and just laugh, please watch this movie. Like, how do I describe it? Everything is wrong. Innately, every aspect, the source material, the acting, I would say, just so you can get an idea, this isn't a spoiler. In the first scene in the movie, the Mario Brothers are born out of an egg.
Yep, that's strike one.
Strike one out of 38,000 results.
I just feel like an executive, like in a meeting, trying to watch that film, and just from the first minute, no.
No.
Imagine that being a studio, like green lighting the movie, and the second it starts, already you're offended by the opening titles. Like,
wait, now I'm second guessing myself. Was it them who came out of the egg, or was it Yoshi? I hope it was just Yoshi.
Probably Yoshi.
No, but like I remember something being like really wrong from the beginning.
Yeah, but probably Yoshi, because
Yoshi.
Yoshi's a dinosaur that's about 5 foot tall, and Mario uses him as a Uber.
You're right. I imagine like Yoshi functioning as an Uber. It's like a and like an Uber, like one you share with other people
Yeah.
get on. It's like, want a water
There's
bottle?
like just 18 people on each other's shoulders, like on top of Yoshi, just cracking his spine.
Oh, you get on it. He's like, "Hey, do you want to listen to the radio?" And you're like, "No, thank you." He's like, "Oh, would you want to listen to my own music?" And you're like, "Oh, god damn it!"
Oh my god, I just imagine that. Like, hey, you ever see those videos on YouTube, like Uber drivers surprise his passenger with amazing rapping talent?
Oh yeah.
And it's like I didn't sign up for this. I just need to get somewhere.
I can picture you like slowly putting your earbuds in and like turning to face the window and like
That's it.
oh man.
I would have loved to see that in the Black Mirror episode where it's like the ratings, the whole society is like rating people, but it's just like the Uber driver just starts rapping, and if she
score plummets.
It's exactly that. He's like, please, I need help.
Christ. It's like well, actually, I don't know if you've experienced this. Have you taken an Uber in Manhattan, but like with an uncle or like a family member that's really talkative and political?
No, but I've taken it with an angry cousin.
Oh, okay. Then you probably have experienced it where like that person sitting up front next to the driver.
Oh, always.
And they're doing like starting conversation, and then they like say some really offhand political thing. It's like, oh, this is a problem because those people are like just ex people, and you're like, oh,
and you're like,
Christ.
let me jump out the window, lady.
You're like, I just want to go to the Met. Like, I don't want to fucking be here.
It was supposed to be an easy afternoon at the Met. What are you doing, Chris?
You fuck. Oh man. Yeah, I'd say like
the
traveling anywhere in Manhattan.
Dying in Manhattan from jumping out of cars due to offhand comments is skyrocketing under Bloomberg.
Skyrocketing. Fucking Bloomberg. Wait, no, it's de Blasio right now, right?
No, it's another guy. Oh no, I'm thinking of the governor of New York. I don't know. My mother told me earlier that somebody, either the mayor or the governor of New York, should run for president, but it's too late.
I love your mom. It's like, I know no one's asking, and no one cares, but I want this guy to run.
It's like, well, we'll make it happen. Let's get busy. Let's get to it.
I want to ask, what's your like biggest Manhattan horror story? Because you've been there way more than I have.
Horror story. I know this is gonna sound a little kitsch. I've generally just had great experiences in New York.
You lucky son of a bitch.
I'm very lucky. Let me try to think. It's tough because every time I go there, it's like I've been there enough times that I've gotten done with the touristy shit, and now I just enjoy the city, not as a local, but somewhere in between a local and a tourist. And it's like I just enjoy walking around Soho now a lot, even though it's mostly just stores. But I really like doing that. In terms of horror stories, it's just kind of like,
let's limit it to like MTA, because those are usually like MTA
mostly
horror stories are great.
Mostly just the pee smell. Just weird people coming up to you and being like, "This is my personal space," and you're like, "Well, you what?"
I'm here.
Like, it's exactly that. It's strange.
I've never really had a bad experience on the MTA yet, but I know it will happen. But recently, I was taking the metro. This is just
like a commercial for New York.
You'll hate it soon. The re-election campaign motto.
But like, you never do. You're always like anticipating the worst, but it's just a lovely place to be.
Yeah, it's not bad. I've never been like harassed on the street.
Nope.
Oh, that reminds me. I was once with my cousin, my uncle, and my sister and dad, and we were waiting just at a crosswalk. I think we were right in front of it was like the Magnolia's Bakery near the Nintendo store in Manhattan.
Yeah.
Like the closest Magnolia's Bakery. And we were just in front of it. And what I could best describe as like just some businesswoman with a briefcase. Like it was around lunchtime, so I'm guessing like she was just on her lunch break going to get food.
Mhm.
And what approached her could only be described as like a salt and pepper hair, like slightly overweight Jewish man with like small, thin, rectangular glasses and like a stained like Yankees shirt. Like
Okay.
full speed walking up to her and goes, "Hey, you like chocolate?" And then immediately the light turns and we start walking, but I fucking burst out laughing.
That's
'Cause
crazy.
that's hilarious to me. And then the guy turned and went, "Hey, no." I was like,
What?
"Look, buddy, you're using a shitty pickup line. I'm gonna laugh at you."
It's like,
that.
listen. I take chocolate very seriously
I
here.
say this. Hey, I've been working on this. It's my new
I've been working
material.
on this. This is the result of several revisions, okay? The time for commentary and criticisms
It's
is
gone.
long gone. I've made the deposit.
We already had the talk back.
This is the draft we're going with, okay? You should have been there at the rehearsal and the previews to tell me comments. It is too late. I've booked the rehearsal space, and now I am broke.
It's just completely downward spiral.
Why do
And
you
now
think
I am
I'm wearing
divorced.
a stained Yankees shirt? I don't have money for the dry cleaner.
Oh man, what I
Why,
love about
why
it
was he
is, like,
Jewish? Why do you assume he was Jewish, David?
he had a keep on.
Why? Yeah. Okay.
It's like,
That is
there.
one of the situations where there is no like, oh, it could have been this. Nope. That's
No,
That's
it's
that.
very, yeah. That's why I specify it, because like
Maybe he
just
was doing
such
it as a joke. It's like, no, nobody commits to a joke that much and faces the oppression and bullshit that we have to go through just
Yeah,
just for a joke.
wearing a kippah publicly is not worth any sort of like prank video.
It's like wearing a mask now. It's like just like you're putting yourself through a bunch of stuff.
Oh man, yeah, no, it's just. But what I love about that so much is that it's such a vague pickup line that could apply to any fucking person on the planet.
And it could lead to so many different results.
Like, yes, walks away. No,
Yes.
walks away.
Mostly those two. But there could be like, yes, do you have some? And he'd be like, no, I've been looking. Would you like to join my quest?
Join me at my chocolate party. I just imagine that man has like very warm
Chocolate?
fucking. He had chocolate.
Yes. That is a reference to a show we all used to watch.
Three's Company.
Exactly.
That was a weird show. You ever watched Three's Company?
No.
The plot was a man had to fake being gay to live with two women in California legally.
Oh, so like what's that called? Oh,
Homophobic?
Well, yes, but also a fucking creep.
Yeah, no. He was friends with the people, but like.
Yeah, but like to lie to them to live with them.
No. They knew he wasn't gay. Like he had to lie to the real estate person. What's his name?
Because otherwise,
Landlord.
Co-ed living arrangements wouldn't be allowed. Where were they living? Like Salt Lake City, Utah? What is this?
No, I think it was like the 70s in like Burbank.
Ah, the scandal of it's like, yo, dude, this show is so avant-garde. They're showing heterosexual couples on TV. Crazy.
Get them out of here.
Crazy. God,
Oh,
somebody
man.
have a parade for these poor people.
Hey, I want to ask you a question.
I want to answer your question.
How well do you think Seinfeld has aged as a show?
I'd never have watched a single episode.
Me too. That's why I'm asking.
We want to see if we should go back and try it.
Oh yeah, we could fully do like a Seinfeld watch party.
To be honest, I know it was the biggest show on television at a certain point, but like, I just don't like sitcoms. No matter how much it's my type of humor and stuff, I don't like sitcoms.
I'm trying to think of a sitcom that was good, and nothing's coming to mind.
Sorry to all sitcom people, but like,
It sounds like we're saying syncom.
Sorry. Well, to you guys as well. Sorry about that, but like, also, it's just like make Breaking Bad. That's all people want to watch.
Yeah. No.
And RuPaul's Drag Race. That's the only two shows in the world. It's RuPaul's Drag Race and Breaking Bad.
Combine them.
Breaking
Dude,
RuPaul.
He's already bald. He can easily put on a wig.
He's like, bitch, I am the danger. Say my name.
Say my name.
I would love to see that. Oh my god. What? Somebody call him.
He strikes a pose like science, bitch, and like just fucking struts his shit.
But it's still Aaron Paul playing Jesse.
Yeah. He's not in drag. He's just on the runway.
No, exactly. And he's like, get off the runway. We're trying to clear the next flight. I don't know. You know at airports when there's like a bunch of people just standing on the runway randomly?
The biggest problem with most airports is the horde of drag queens on most runways. Just a flock of drag queens.
Who just got the wrong memo and showed up at the wrong runway.
Oh, God.
Just the audacity of walking with heels throughout an entire tarmac while there are planes going everywhere and people with orange, high-vis clothing.
Yeah.
Just like
where's my Uber? They're just fucking running everywhere.
My favorite image of all time is just like a car speeding through an airport, like tarmac, just driving through planes just to get to a plane.
And it's just like, are you Steve? And
it's like, get in. And it's like, he gets there and it's like, he like says, Susie, and she pokes her head out of the pressurized window of the airplane. And he's like, ever since I've met you, I've loved you. I know you're moving to San Francisco to become a famous publicist. But before you do, I have to get something off my chest. And he starts like boomboxing music out of the Uber. And it's like like the Uber driver's weird music. And it's like, no, but like, seriously, can we stop this plane? And she's like, it's like no.
I want to imagine like the plane already took off and all Susie here is like just like the fucking jet engine.
It's exactly that. She's already like 2 miles away with binoculars and like watch an in-flight movie. But anyway, that was my fever dream pitch for a romantic comedy.
I am sold.
To be honest, I feel like there are ones that have less groundedness than that and have gotten funding anyway.
Raph, I want to appreciate the fact that both, like, this idea is plane related, and your other film idea.
Oh my God! It's an anthology story.
No, that's how the movie starts.
Pirates starts with a bunch of drag queens. That's the thing. They infiltrate the airport as drag queens.
Oh.
Turn out to be pirates.
You can be a pirate and a drag queen. I don't think those are mutually exclusive.
Yeah, but like,
it'd be a look. Like,
I don't know. I kind of want to push some new ground.
The pirate drag queen niche is it's undiscovered.
It's pretty unexplored, to be honest. When you look it up, it has less than 8 results, so it's pretty crazy. Like, there are negative 8 results. Like, it is pulling information out of you to fill the void that is there.
It's taking what you looked up and creating an article from it.
Exactly.
I want to know, have you actually explained pirates to our wonderful listeners?
I feel like we've tried 3 times and haven't succeeded. So Pirates is a lovely dramatic story about an airplane flight that just wanted to be normal. And then one day, another airplane pulled up next to it with a bunch of pirates. Anyway, basically, it's your classic hijacking story. But where it changes is that instead of like some racist bullshit, instead it's a bunch of like New England fucking pirates that pull up in a small prop plane, use a tunnel, like a pressurized tunnel, fired with nylon hooks into the other plane, and board the plane as it's in midair.
I now want you to explain this movie in each episode. We can make
I will talk about this movie until people like start a change.org petition.
A GoFundMe.
A GoFundMe to make me make this movie, or make me not make this movie. Pay me enough movie. I promise to not make this movie.
Let me afford GoFundMe to afford a lawyer to send a cease and desist to RAPH.
That's exactly it.
Man.
But in real terms, like speaking of real stuff, I have been working on some fun new projects.
Ooh, he has.
And let me tell you, thank God we shot weeks ago. Because I don't know if you guys have heard. Again, we're not going to talk about this a lot, but like every film production, like in the foreseeable future, is canceled.
Yeah, no, like the Kia summer sales event is fucking
destroyed. Like, where are we going to get our Sorrentos for half price now? It's insane. Employee pricing is like, what I wait for every year. Not to buy, but to look at,
Yeah, no, but RAPH has been working his entire ass, just double cheeked on this entire project.
And you have as well. You were involved as well, which, it's a little incestuous, but I kind of like it.
Yeah, no, it's actually, I'd say being on set with RAPH is a different experience, mainly because you are so productive and straight to the point. That's just like, is this happening? Yes. Okay, good. No, but it's not like you're not mean at all. Like
Aw.
I've directed a fucking student film. I was kind of a prick. I'll admit it. Not a good director. Like you were like very straight to the point and like, hey, can you do this for me? Thank you. Awesome.
Aw.
Like you didn't beat her at the bush. It's like we're gonna change the shot completely because it's not working. Like you're just if someone like didn't like do something a certain way, you weren't like that was garbage. You're like, hey, you take it. Like it was good.
Thank you. I like to have a fun on-set experience for everybody, and it's also the fact that it's like student. Well, I don't want to say student productions because this is not associated to a school program. This was like all personal project, but we are student-aged filmmakers and film crew, and often people are wearing multiple hats and have to kind of like bridge gaps. And I think that. I mean, I was very lucky because I had some very professional people working, the camera assistant, the gaffer.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, not to single out anybody. Everybody is amazing, but I had like the skill level of that camera assistant is like on par with like somebody who's been in the film industry for years. His focus pulling was so accurate and good. Shout out to Etienne, bro. Etienne, if you're listening to this, you are an MVP.
We love you.
I do.
Etienne was the most focused man I've ever seen.
Which is important when you're pulling focus.
Yes. No, like, well, I didn't think about that. As someone who's I'm not a big film guy. Like to preface, this was taking place in a lab. I spoke to my teacher and like we set it all up and I was there in lab, like preparing like mixtures.
Thank you once again for that because you really what a location. Looked
no
so good. It looks so good on camera.
Once the trailer comes out, everyone can take it. No, take your time. People can see the sweet shots that Raph recorded. But
that's it.
No, I remember looking at Etienne and I was like, I don't know what he's doing, but this man has like the most amount of focus I've ever seen. And
it's definitely important because like a camera assistant is basically the guy who with the like makes everything that the cinematographer wants to do camera wise happen.
Yeah.
And a gaffer is the guy who makes everything that the cinematographer wants to do lighting wise happen. And then often has a team within that. But like a camera assistant's job, like basically boils down to like in terms of like repeatable tasks that I'm asking for a lot. It's pulling focus for the shots so that I'm free to operate, and because in the shoot I was directing and shooting at the same time, which sometimes has its benefits, sometimes has its its problems. But I wanted to be very precise and as to bridge a gap between having to communicate something to a separate person. But it boils down to pulling focus and changing lenses, which is such you wouldn't think of it. It's a pretty innocuous thing, but changing lenses is like the most technical operation of all time.
I have literally no idea how anything got done that fast. Like everyone was, how do I explain it? Raph was carrying like a nuclear weapon on his like right shoulder, directing everybody. He's like, okay, new lens. Like people would switch it out. It was like a whole clown crew came out of a car,
fixed
it, and then went back in. And I was just there with my teacher, and we were both like, we have no idea what they're talking about.
No, like, it's insane because like the lens change. First of all, the lenses are the most expensive thing on set usually. Mine are like they're like a vintage lenses that I've modified, so they're not. But there's lenses in the world that cost like $40,000 a lens, and those are industry standards. So to give you some idea, the whole the whole like tradition of changing a lens is a very like technical, precise thing. You're not letting go of the thing until you know the other person has it. So there's vocal confirmation, and then it's putting it back in the case. It's making sure the lens is back at like infinity and the widest aperture. Like it's very technical stuff. And to have a guy who like at any moment is ready to change your lens is really cool.
You wanna know what it reminded me of? It was exactly like Ford versus Ferrari. They came in to change the
pits. It's basically that's what it is. It's a pit stop. Exactly that during a race. And they're like changing the tires and changing the oil and changing the fuel and doing it all while you're sitting in the car doing nothing. Like
Yeah, no, to the people who are not on set, which are most people, uh, you missed out, really.
Oh.
It was a sight to be seen. I remember I was sitting with my teacher, Brian, and, we were talking about science, and then we heard, like, I forgot what the term was. Someone threw, like, oh, wait, yeah, when something like, when the audio's going, you say audio running or something like that?
You're supposed to say, like, yeah, for sound, you're supposed to say speed,
Oh,
sound
yeah,
speed,
speed.
camera rolling, sound speed. A lot of people say speeding or is speeding, which, it doesn't matter. It means the same thing, but it's like hearing a little in my ear,
No, like, because I turned to Brian, I'm like, "What the fuck does that mean?" He's like, "I don't know."
Yeah,
Like,
it's just, the way that, like, your camera would, I mean, usually it's camera speed because the camera in a film days had to come up to speed. Now I just hear people saying it for sound, but rolling speed, in the end it's just different confirmations. That's all
yeah.
filmmaking really is. It's a lot of vocal confirmations.
Hmm. I I'd say I learned a lot from that experience,
Oh yeah?
like, into your field. Yeah, because I was like, "Oh, this is how an actual film set works." Like,
Well,
Brian and I did
well,
not explain
well,
anything about the lab. We were just like, "You
well.
want a centrifuge?" And then we put one out.
Oh, so lovely. Oh, you just completely cut out.
Yeah, we're
Doop-a-doop,
back.
doop-a-doo. Yeah, you're back. Amazing.
Woo.
But yeah, you guys were so amazing because we wanted to, like, dress the set, and obviously we didn't have a production designer on this. We didn't have, like, this was a real on life location, so we didn't have as much leeway into, like, tearing down things or putting. But, like, you guys, like, really dressed it beautifully with props that made it look like a lived in space, and I thank you so much for that,
Oh, thank you.
dressing it
Yeah,
up.
no, I remember walking in and talking to Brian, and I'm like, "Oh, like, we can add, like, can we use any of these things?" He's like, "Oh, yeah, sure." Also, shout out to Brian, my teacher.
Brian was the sweetest, like, I mean, first of all, sweet guy, sweet teacher, but sweetest guy in charge of a location I've
Oh,
ever
yeah.
been in contact with. Like, what a generous, like, and we were careful in there. We were making sure we were doing our stuff as you're supposed to do professionally, but, like, he was just very, like, open and lovely.
Yeah, he was like Raph was like, "Oh, could we break some vials?" 'Cause I told Raph, "I don't know if we're allowed to break it, like,
Yeah.
anything." And Brian, in the most nonchalant way, was like, "Oh, yeah, sure."
Yeah, because
And,
we
like,
were, we were
even
gonna we were
more.
gonna buy some props and stuff for it, but, like, the actual stuff you had on set was very, like, much what we had in the script and what we needed. So the fact that he let us do that free of charge was really lovely.
Yeah, no, because, like, people break like, I can be honest, people give lab kids or just science kids way too much credit. We break so much shit. We don't know what we're doing.
My
Like, we
God.
show up to labs and the teacher's like, "Okay, do the lab." And then we read the lab and they're like, "Okay, now we know what to do." But even then, we don't know any of the science behind it. We're supposed to, but because we have so much shit to do, we just show up, do the work, and then figure out the science later.
Oh yeah, it's all touch and go.
It's oh god. And especially, with bio, I like bio, so I study it, but when it comes to, like, chemistry, for example, I just show up and it's like, "Here's a bunch of powders, figure it out," and you're like, "Okay."
That was basically my experience with going to, like, culinary camp as a kid. It wasn't like, and now we're gonna learn how to boil an egg. It was really like, here are the ingredients, here are what we're making, there are your islands and everything. Get to it. And we were like 8, and by God, if we didn't know how to cook at the end of that thing.
I wanna imagine, like, a French-Canadian, like, British Bake Off kinda thing, but with
Yeah,
eight-year-olds.
I'd love to see that.
So it's just like an old, like, ma
It's
tante just,
it's
like,
it's
yelling.
Master Chef Junior Tabarnak, you know.
God, it takes place in, like, Gaspésie, in the middle of the
I love
field.
that. Oh yeah, shout out.
Whew.
Woo!
Actually, I was thinking about locations, like, that are in driving distance of Montreal that are just, like, nice to go to,
Sutton,
and Staten?
Sutton,
Oh, I think it's Staten, like, as in
Staten
Staten
Island.
Island. I'm like, why?
There's nothing to do in Staten Island.
Actually, I have a question. What is considered driving distance?
I mean, technically anything. Maine is driving distance. New York is driving distance. But, like, I think casual driving distance for, like,
So
out of the, because, most driving distance, you're talking like 20, 30, 40 minutes to get around a city. But
so
out
max
of
an
the
hour.
city, yeah, but out of a city, we're talking about, like, maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Yeah. But who drives in a city nowadays? I don't know anyone who drives downtown.
It's crazy. I'd be surprised. A lot of cars on the road.
None of them are my friends.
I saw some, and it was like, bro, how?
Oh, yeah, you mean right now. Yeah, I don't actually our friend why am I having
Doubts on our
no,
friend? We have
no,
just so many of them. It's tough.
we have too many. Brianna went to the vet because I was texting her right before the podcast.
Yeah.
And apparently she was the only person there to treat her cat.
Well, yeah.
I mean, the vet was there, but like
I feel like a lot of people, I mean, you know, there's people not going to places, but it's also like not a lot of people are you know, taking care of their animals right now. They're a bit more self-absorbed.
yeah. I mean, like if your cat has a UTI, your cat has a UTI.
Yeah, you gotta get it dealt
take
with.
care of that.
Mm-hmm.
As a just general question, what do most people expect their cats to do when they let them out? Because
I wouldn't know because my cats are home cats and they do not get the right to go out.
Fair, they have no rights.
They really don't, to be honest.
Because I've met so many people who like let their cats out and then they get surprised and like sad when their cat dies through like getting hit by a car or going missing. And I'm like, you know the risks. Like you let your cat out. Like
yeah, but it's also I think cats were out before we domesticated them. So it's like, you know, there's got to be a part of the instinct that's like, you know, survival. If you've been letting your cat out since you like first got it and got it like domesticated to your home, and that's a part of its daily routine is to go out, then you would assume that it would know how to navigate the world.
And my argument, we domesticated them pre-Ford F-150.
Exactly. The second the Ford F-150 came out, no chance.
Over.
No chance for the cats. I mean, like the cats were strong. They got the nails. They got the falling out like off the Empire State Building and landing fine.
The mileage.
The sheer cruise, the sheer fucking torque on the Ford F-150 pickup truck. Now available at Ford Place Saint Clair. Come get it while it lasts. It's an employee pricing event. You're not gonna see this deal anytime soon. Get it now.
You're not employed.
Yeah, and our manager is a cat, so
man,
figure that one out.
I have a question, Raph.
I love how this is just all questions.
Who do you think would be the most likely first sponsor of Man Feelings?
I mean, consider the content we've been doing. It's a lot of... What is our content, David? How do you describe what we do?
I'd say...
I'm so at a loss.
Slice of life, media, comedy.
Yes. Art student type or artistic. Well, no, you're a science student. I think, science student meets, art student or film student, and hilarity ensues.
Yeah. Actually, I could have like a David's scientific fact of the day corner.
I think okay, let's just be honest. Squarespace would be a great sponsor.
Casper mattress? We like to sleep.
I mean, I've got a mattress. How many times? There's no repeat customers with a mattress company.
Yeah, you're right. It's like How are they in business?
A mattress loot box?
Every month we're going to send you a new mattress.
It's such a pain. Stop sending these mattresses. I have nowhere to put them. The city won't collect them anymore.
I mean, at that point, you would just
Oh my god, right? Siri just, activated and started listening to me. This is a scary time.
What'd she do? How'd she respond?
She just said, this is the research I found for listening to you while you're asleep. And it's like, it's very scary.
Man. I think I've had the same mattress since I was born.
I hope I didn't, but there's a part of me that thinks I did too.
Aside a crib. Like the first mattress my parents got for me is the one I kept.
What size?
And, I think a double.
Yeah, that's enough room for activities.
Yeah, what do you plan? What do you think?
You're a thin man.
I'm a very thin man. You can fit 5 of me in that bed.
Very thin, but very tall.
Oh, I am the equivalent of like most rulers. Like I have like slight width.
I've never heard a better way to describe you, but now I want you as a ruler.
Very flexible. Oh God. but it's like my face stretched out, like it's a bad JPEG.
Okay, you're gonna wake up tomorrow to something really awful, but it's happening. That's our merch. David rulers.
Only office supplies.
You as a ruler, me as a
staple
camera.
remover.
Oh, okay.
Your eyes.
Oh my god.
Like a viper.
Oh, that's terrible.
Oh man. I'd say there has to be some dumb BuzzFeed article. It's like, what office supply are you?
Absolutely. There's like 4 of them.
I'm a fucking highlighter. Like,
oh my god.
Oh, I remember. Do you ever have like not a Freudian slip, but just like a mental flub when you read something?
More often than I don't have a mental flub.
Okay. Because I remember distinctly in English class, and I think it was Sec 2, I was looking at my highlighter because I was bored, and I turned to my friend, I'm like, hey, does this say Hitler? Because it just didn't like resonate at all. And he's like, are you fucking, what? And then my teacher walked by and was like, David, are you okay? Like, do you need help?
You're like, I don't know.
Everyone was treating me like I was having a stroke.
That's so
to the
terrible.
point where like I got convinced. I'm like, I guess something's wrong with me.
Oh.
It was fine. I just can't read.
At least you're not one of those people who like draws a face on their knees.
Wait, hold on. What?
There's people who, when they're bored, just take a marker and draw a face on their knees.
Raph, are you projecting?
No.
This is just something
I drew a whole guy and it was like higher than my knee. And he's like waving.
Just now.
It's like, I'm not kidding though.
Actually,
I'm taking a picture of it. I'm gonna send it to you right now.
Fuck yeah! I gotta turn on my phone. Actually,
why did I do this?
I don't know.
This is so strange.
It reminds me of, I don't know. There's two kinds of kids.
It's all blurry. It looks so weird.
It's like found footage, like Cloverfield.
It really is though.
There's two kinds of children. There's kids who did not touch their erasers, and those who shoved their pencils into it like it was a fucking stab victim.
I did that so much. Oh my god. It looked like Swiss cheese by the time I was done with it.
Oh, that's so cute. Oh my god. It looks like
it's a little man.
Just a little man.
It's a little man on my upper thigh. Lower thigh. I don't know. What is that?
And now I feel like I should do something on my leg, but I don't have a pen.
You don't have a marker or a highlighter or a Hitler or anything?
Hey, I need a Hitler. I'm way hairier at the moment, though, so I'm gonna look messed up.
Yeah, well.
Oh, this just hurts. There's no ink.
Oh, you're just stabbing yourself in the leg like the eraser.
I started with the head, and it just...
That's where I started. The body came after.
Huh. Oh, also I'm fully being robot-y right now, so I'm gonna quickly reconnect.
Hey, you're back.
I know why my internet's going so badly. It's because my sister is also on Discord and playing a game.
That's hilarious.
So everything has gone to shit.
Amazing.
But where were we?
I was just going to say, I think we should end it off for today.
Yeah, I would agree.
And pick it up very soon.
Yeah.
It's been lovely sharing our mad feelings with you guys today. It's lovely to be back. And
spreading the man.
That's it. We just want to keep spreading positivity, you know. All of you, like, we're gonna get through this. Hang in there, and don't buy toilet paper in bulk, and wash your hands.
Watch Avatar: The Last Airbender, for the love of God.
Yeah, sure, okay. one of those animated cartoons my son keeps talking about.
But yeah, no, it was really fun. I'm glad you guys came to listen. More soon, hopefully.
Absolutely.
See you guys on the flip side.
See you on the flip.